What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk to you guys about the importance of pretty much like building a brand around what you sell, not just doing a product, but building a brand basis. So this is for people who are, creatives, one, but people who want to, not just be a product, but they want to build something sustainable. They want to build a sustainable brand, they want to build a sustainable business. And we're going to talk about real quick why, we're going to talk about real quick why building a brand is important for any business, or building an identity is important for any business. So for me, I do candles, right? As I Am Candle Co., that's the name of the brand. And I made other videos about why I named it that way. But when I think about As I Am Candle Co., if I'm making a brand identity around what I do as opposed to just selling candles and things like that, then I can expand whatever my horizons are in business, right? So for example, when I'm making candles, that's just one part of the business. But if people, like you have other companies that are called As I Am, but I have As I Am Candle Co. But As I Am Candle Co. can be bumped into different things. Like I could do branding events, I can do hosting, I can do pop-ups, I can do, I don't want to do candles, I want to do perfumes, I want to do scents. Or like I said, I'm doing YouTube, people can come to the As I Am Candle Co. YouTube, or the As I Am YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So it's building, pretty much setting yourself up to build different avenues for your business. So building different streams for your business. And it doesn't have to start that way. Yes, you can be just a candle brand and you can make just candles, but then that can kind of limit you, right? Because in my thought process, if I'm making just candles, then there's only so many candles that I can personally make. Either before you have to hire somebody, or before you have to have machinery or something, or before you have to outsource to somebody that can make candles. So if you want to just make candles, that's fine. This is for any business, not just candle makers. If you want to just do that one product, that's fine. You can do that. But having kind of a brand identity, like I said, it opens you up to be able to do more things. So for me, with As I Am, I can do, not just candle parties, but like candle making events. I can go open up a boutique candle bar or wine bar or whatever and say As I Am. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I can do these different ventures because then it becomes about a brand identity, right? So for example, talking about Amazon. Amazon started, as far as we know of, as far as from what I've read in my research, they started selling books online. So imagine Amazon just sold books. They would have limited themselves to so many things. Now Amazon doesn't just sell books. You can get groceries, you can get everything, and it delivers to you. Some places they have like all these like automated stores where you can go in and you can buy. You know what I'm saying? They had, where it used to take a couple days, then they had it where it's like, okay, now you can overnight it. Now sometimes they're working on where you can have it shipped directly to you within the hour. And then eventually you might have things where you can have them delivered via drone and all these different things. But if Amazon just would have stuck just the books, they would have been like a bookstore. Like we had like a Books A Million or a Barnes & Noble or somebody who just sells books. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Even though that is a brand identity in itself, it also kind of limits your reach into what you do. Now, what I will say is when building a brand and building a brand identity, I would not say start general. You want to start specific and then you can build your way out. So for example, when I do candles, that's what I've been focused on now for the past 4 or 5 years, right? Doing candles because I wanted to get really good at making candles first before I did anything else. So now that I'm doing candles, I've started throwing in like wax melts, and then I'm gonna work on maybe like the body oils or doing like the perfumes and the colognes, like adding scent to it. But also then I'm, can start doing other things like obviously the candle making classes, but I might want to do a scent making class. So you can do candles and scent, which means that's more money. Or I might want to get into the, the branding aspect. Like I'm doing videos, so now I might want to make a course on how to grow your business. You know what I'm saying? From like all these different things. I might want to do mentorship, or you know what I'm saying? All these different things that you can now open yourself up to because you started with one thing and you got really good at that. So when you think about it, general, but when you're starting, don't start general, start specific. So think big picture, like, okay, eventually I might want to do these things or whatever, but start with that one thing, try to get really good at that, and then expand to those other things. sometimes as a creative, I try to do too many things. I do it all the time. I might be doing it right now, you know, because my mind is, you know what I'm saying, going all day long, all the time. So it's like, with that being said, I'm always thinking about how can I do this, how can I do this? But I try to add everything piece by piece. You know, you start with the basics and then you build your foundation and you go from there. So branding identity is important because it allows you to expand your brand. But start with the specifics, start with the foundation, and then work from that foundation and build up from there, right? Okay, cool. So that's what I got for today, man. Branding, the importance of kind of branding yourself so that way you don't just be a product, you could be a brand identity. So that way when people see you, they know, you know, all the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? But start with that one thing, build from there, and you should be good to go. Peace.